As we take a look now at the starting lineup for EKU, it's Walden, Richardson, Bav Harrison, Nip, and Stutz. For the Canes, a familiar five: McClellan, Rodriguez, LeCompte, Thomas, and Jakiri. And I'm curious, what do you think about the job that Jakiri's been doing lately?
Well, Tanya Jakiri, I think, has really improved. Let's get ready for a good one tonight.
Covington, Heater, Jones, your officials, and we're underway. The Canes in white going left to right. EKU and the maroon. Expect good ball movement out of this squad from EKU. They had a contest against the University of Kentucky, and I'm not so sure what you can learn from that other than they are out of this world, but EKU will try to draw from that experience, and they're off to a very nice start. The floater there by Bav Harrison for two.
EKU coming out with a little zone pressure. This team is so good defensively in terms of making teams scramble. We're going to talk a little bit about it later on in the game, but they turn over teams at such a rapid pace that teams have to adjust.
Back out to A-Rod. Rodriguez fires from downtown, just off the mark, and that will be Eastern Kentucky basketball. Of course, the Canes lost to Green Bay in a bit of a surprise, I should say. Some would even call it a huge surprise. How fortunate were they, in your opinion, to have a game just a couple days after that?
Well, it's always good just because you can get that game out of your mental notebook, so to speak. But this Eastern Kentucky team is a lot like Green Bay. They're a very good mid-major team now. They play a different style, but I expect this to be a highly contested matchup.
Shot up off the mark. Tanya with the rebound. LeCompte now in the front court, looking for a screen. Trying to work the ball around on the perimeter. You see McClellan out there wide. In the lane, kick out to A-Rod.
One of the things that Eastern Kentucky does so well is they're always up in the passing lanes. At the point of attack, it's always hard for the other team to get the basketball to the wings, and then you end up getting shots like that where you have to force something inside instead of getting into your offense.
Boy, that's a tough deal, too, because that's exactly what they like to do, Drew. If they can keep the game nice and slow, bit plodding just a bit, keep the overall total around 120, 130 points, that's EKU basketball.
Don't be surprised, though. EKU on the offensive end, they're not a shy basketball team. They average almost 33-pointers a game. So if somebody's open, they're gonna shoot the basketball.
See how fortunate they are to do that. Shot clock now right around 10. Walden down to Stutz. Clock at 7, driving the lane. The runner up and off the mark, and here comes Rodriguez. Canes yet to get on the board. 17:30 remaining here in the first half. There's a good opportunity. Shot, and just off the mark. And a whistle. That's going to be on the Canes. Force out. Eastern Kentucky basketball.
Good call right there by the referee. I thought that Jakiri, on the way down, gave him a little bump. As we see Eastern Kentucky, look at these numbers. I mean, they do a great job at scoring the basketball, assisting the basketball, and then we've talked a little bit already of what they can do on the defensive end. They cause a lot of havoc. A little similar to VCU, but a little bit more control.
There's a chance for a three. Shot up and bottom of the net. Great shot by Timmy Nip. 5-0 EKU.
Eastern Kentucky can hurt you in so many different ways because they've got 5 guys out on the basketball floor that can shoot it. And when you can space the floor and shoot it like that, you become that much more of a threat.
LeCompte off the mark. Back comes EKU again. Walden looks at a three, decides against it. Good spacing. Nip from downtown. No. Rebound Canes. See if Sheldon McClellan can get on track here and maybe get a shot up.
Right now, I know the fans are a little bit anxious for Miami to put the basketball in the basket because all the fans here stay standing until Miami scores its first basket.
Well, they've been standing almost 4 minutes, my friend. They're ready for a bucket. Stotts gives it up, gets it back. Quick ball movement out on the perimeter from way downtown. No. That was Corey Walden, NBA range. Here goes a chance finally for the Canes shot, and it's good in the foul. Joe Thomas.
Excellent kick ahead that time by Rodriguez. As a point guard, every time you get the basketball in transition, you have to have your head up. Rodriguez with the great find to Thomas.
He has paid huge dividends here in Miami.
Without question, Coach Larrañaga's done such a good job of recruiting this area as well and getting guys like Angel Rodriguez, who is at Kansas State, and then bringing him back home, back to his program. And Coach L looking at another productive season.
Still trying to get untracked offensively as we near the 5-minute mark of this contest. The Canes with just the one bucket, shooting just 16.7% from the floor.
Well, we talked a little bit about it in the precast, in that there's going to be a little bit of rust. Anytime you have such a long break, 11 days, you have to be able to come out with the right intensity and the right motion to play a game like this, especially when you're playing a dangerous team like Eastern Kentucky.
Foul there on Nip. That will send McClellan to the line for two.
I got a chance to speak to Sheldon a little bit earlier this morning during shoot-around. And one of the things that he said is he's so much more comfortable here than he was at Texas. The coaching staff all have confidence in him. He's not scared of making plays, of coming out of the basketball game, and I think that that's a big reason why he's played so well early on this season.
Want to correct that. Richardson charged with that foul. Denzel's first for Eastern Kentucky. You heard Drew mention they are not afraid to fire them up from downtown and expect plenty of three-point shooting here tonight. Well, Euro step picked off, and here come the Canes. Burnett with the honors on the steal. That's off McGlone. Will stay here.
If I was Miami right now, I would try to get the basketball inside and try to play inside out a little bit, just because they have a size advantage inside with Tanya Jakiri.
McClellan and to Rodriguez. Angels got great handles. McClellan from way outside. No. Tipped around. Foul inside. That could be on EKU. And that is the case. Nip called for his first personal.
EKU on baseline situations deciding to go to a 2-3 zone as opposed to man-to-man, making sure that Mr. Sheldon McClellan doesn't have any more highlight reels like we saw the last time we were together.
We remember that very well. One-hand catch and the flush. See if he has another one of those in his quiver here tonight. Love watching Rodriguez play. Great handles, as you see right there. Foul on the inside. We'll stay down here as Thomas was trying to go up strong. Instead, they called travel. EKU basketball.
Not quite sure about that one. I thought that Thomas had gotten fouled before the shuffling of the feet, but the ref saw otherwise.
Coach L, one of 5 ACC coaches with a Final Four appearance to his credit. Would love to do that again here at the U.
Think about all the good coaches in the ACC this year.
Yeah, what does that tell you?
Patino, Boeheim, Krzyzewski. I mean, the list just goes on and on. And Miami, once they start ACC play, they get right into the thick of it. They start off with Virginia, and then 2 games later, they got the Duke Blue Devils.
I can't wait for that one. So much great history and a matchup with Duke. Well, that's a terrific job driving there by Walden. Could not finish, however. Back come the Canes. McClellan down to Rodriguez. Jakiri to the corner. You saw a little hesitation there on Reed's part.
a prime example of Eastern Kentucky's philosophy defensively, in that when the ball gets picked up, they get up in your chest. And they make it very difficult to pass the basketball. Everybody gets into deny mode, and that's one of the reasons why they turn people over at such a high rate.
What's the fundamental there? How do you do that? When you're instructing a young player, how do you make sure that they play that type of defense?
Well, it starts in practice and understanding where the basketball is in relation to your man. And you always want to be ball you man. As long as you're in between those positions, then you will have a great chance in terms of denying as well as being able to help.
So many great players emphasize footwork, vision, as you heard Drew mention. Fundamental defense will go a long way to getting you playing time, especially at this level. Rodriguez heading out, coming in, Manu Lecomte.
Another key aspect is, of course, anticipation.
Yeah.
You've got to be able to see the play before it happens and then be able to jump on it. And that's one of the things that Corey Walden does so well, 5th in the nation in steals at 3 a game.
Stutz inside, working right. Just a bit too much in the way of hand defense there by Omar Sherman.
I like Stutz going with the little old school look, little Bill Walton.
Shades of Big Red as we look at the replay here. You see Sherman just trying to body in there. Had the arm, I think, a little forearm in the back.
Anytime as a young player you let somebody catch the basketball so close to the basket, you're at a disadvantage.
Oh, that's going to definitely be travel right there. And the turnover for the Canes.
That time Eastern Kentucky getting a little bit of dose of their own medicine. Miami decided to jump and trap, forcing the turnover.
A lot of pressure here by EKU, switching things up a bit.
This is what they do defensively.
Isaac McGlone knocking that one out. Another sub coming in. It's Muff.
Speaking of Coach Neubauer before the game, he said that he feels like this team is the best defensive team that he's had in his 10 years at Eastern Kentucky. And he feels like they have to be that good defensively because they lost so many guys. They have to be able to generate points from the defensive end.
Good feed by Manu. Sherman missed on the finish. Back come the Colonels. You know, I don't want to jinx it, but this is about as low scoring a contest as I think you and I have ever done. 5-3 is our score, and then finally it changes just as I see that, as Deverett Muff hits one from downtown. Check that. I want to give credit to Powell. That was Jamil Powell with the honors there. So Powell with a three-pointer. Can't say enough about the EKU defense. Quick hands right there, knocking the ball away. Timmy Nip with the honors.
Well, one way to attack when they're up so hard pressuring you is you've got to be able to go by them. When somebody's up so close, you just got to take the basketball and drive it, and then that will force help, and then you'll have somebody to pass to. But if you sit back and you play passive with the basketball, that gives them an opportunity to get more into your chest, and that makes things more difficult.
Well, I got to ask you, though, it's only 8-3 at this point. Can you sort of diagnose what's going on here with the Canes offense? I know EKU's played great defense. Is Miami missing something here?
Well, I think that it's a combination of things. I think, one, they haven't seen this type of defense before. And number two, Eastern Kentucky's done a great job in terms of being able to get them out of their offense.
Quick timeout. 11 points on the board. We're back with more after this.
And you've got to come to play each and every night, which is something that this first 8 minutes, I don't think that Miami has done so well. The pressure of Eastern Kentucky has bothered them, but expect for them to settle down.
What do you think Coach L was saying in that timeout?
To settle down, move the basketball, take open shots like that one from DeAndre Burnett, and then get defensive stops.
Burnett, a huge three-pointer. Canes down by 2. I say huge when you consider that shot doubled their point total at this point of the contest. Sherman rejecting Stutz. Here come the Canes. Stutter step there. Manu in the lane. Euro step. Kicks it out. Turnover. Here goes Walden and company. Down the floor to McGlone. Gave it right back. Burnett now looking up floor. In the lane. Tall timber. Finger roll. No. And the foul.
Excellent job by Stutz in getting position and knowing who's coming at you. DeAndre Burnett is a player that when he puts his head down, he doesn't see anything else but the basket. Stutz, excellent job standing in there, taking the charge.
Got to be one of the toughest things to coach. You have to stand in there and take a charge. A guy's coming at you full speed, knees high. Not fun.
When I was at Maryland, we used to do a charge drill, and when I tell you I dreaded that part of practice every day, I never want to stand in there and take charges, especially from a guy like Burnett, who's as built as he is.
Canes with 6 points on the board as we near the halfway point of the first half. McGlone to Richardson. Gets it back over to Walden. Shot clock at 13. Nip from downtown. Swish. 11-6 EKU.
This is one problem that Miami's going to have against this Eastern Kentucky team. Tanya Jakiri's at times going to have to go out and guard a perimeter player because right now Eastern Kentucky's primarily got 5 guards / forwards on the floor, and he's not used to coming out and defending on the perimeter.
Manu down in the corner. Burnett got it. Shooter's roll. Nice touch for DeAndre. Second three-pointer of the contest.
Burnett is what you call instant offense off the bench.
Shades of the old microwave. Vinnie Johnson. McGlone fires one up. And boy, you talked about three-pointers raining from EKU. The Colonels get another one.
Well, I'm sure Coach Neubauer is very pleased to see that one go down for McGlone. He shot 45% last year from the three-point line. This year, he's really struggled coming out the gate, only shooting about 20%. So a good sign for EKU, him knocking one down.
Davon hammered on the inside. He'll get a chance to shoot a pair. Reed out of Ewing, New Jersey. Princeton. So Davon will shoot a pair. Try to get the Canes within 3. First is up and good. Fresh legs coming back. You see McClellan moving along.
Very interesting tactic right here by Coach L. He's decided himself to go with primarily 5 guards or forwards on the floor to match Eastern Kentucky.
Well, certainly should play better defense in that respect, which would mirror your thought earlier, which is if you can't get out there and cover them, they will fire up those three-pointers. Looks like they're bringing a little bit more pressure as well. McGlone with the basketball. 18 on the shot clock. Nip gets it back. Jamil Powell. No. Rebound in the lane. Follow no good. And the Canes have it. Manu's got it. Down to McClellan. Over his shoulder. Back to Manu from downtown. No. Rebound battled for. Davon had it for a second. Now it's in the lane. Oh, the scoop is good. Sheldon McClellan does it again.
Big-time athlete makes big-time plays. That's just something that you just can't teach. He just goes out there and makes those types of plays at times.
Canes within 1 at 14-13. Jamil back over to Denzel. Timmy's got it as they work the ball around. Long shot, no. Powell has it. Missed the cutter. Pressure in the corner, has to get rid of it. Finally does. Over to Bab Harrison. McGlone now driving. Three-pointer. Richardson got it. Denzel Richardson from downtown.
And this is a guy who seems to play his best when the competition's great. Had 19 against Kentucky and getting himself off to a strong start here tonight against Miami.
Foul there on McGlone. We'll take a quick timeout as they do on the floor. EKU by 4. This is Holiday Hoops on ESPN. We're coming back to the Bank United Center after this.
which L has done is he's helped him become a more complete basketball player. At Texas, he was known as mostly an athlete. The year that he had to sit out, he really worked on his shot and has improved dramatically.
Canes down by 4. DeAndre's shot just a bit strong. Here come the Colonels. Bab Harrison with it now. As his club once again works the clock. A lot of patience here. Looking for a clean 3. There's a good pass inside. Stutz goes up strong. No, the tip, yes! Eric Stutz with the bucket.
Excellent execution by EKU, finding the cutter, and Stutz following up with his own miss.
McClellan works it around.
Even though EKU is in a zone, look how active they are. Their hands are up. You've got 2 guys always flying to the basketball.
Well, that was just a terrific play there by McClellan. A lot of basketball time in the gym to make a play like that. Watch how he uses his body, Drew.
Excellent recognition, knowing him going to the basket with Stutz not in the correct position, but just kind of jumping into him and being able to draw a foul.
Stutz has 3 rebounds, a bucket, and now that foul. Sheldon with 3 points. Six-point lead for the Colonels. 6:57 to play here in the first half. Fresh legs. As we see, Tanya Jakiri is back on the floor. And a pair missed. Unusual, to say the least. Powell gets it back from Walden. Fires it up. No. Rebound, Jakiri. Canes looking for energy and a bucket. Manu has it. Looking to work his way inside the defense. There's a late pass. Gets it back out to Rodriguez. No, just missed. Tipped. Here comes Stutz. Shoot to the head to Walden. Going up. The bucket is good. Off the glass. 21-13, Eastern Kentucky.
Anytime when you shoot the basketball from the three-point line, from either the wing or the baseline, you have to have somebody to get back in transition. Miami that time was a little out of position. EKU with a very easy fast break point.
Second personal foul for Stutz. As you watch this replay there, Drew.
Corey Walden, excellent in transition, doing a good job knowing McClellan's coming for him and kind of emulating him a little bit, coming up under the rim for the easy deuce.
Smart play by Sheldon by the offensive strategy of EKU. They're just shooting so many three-pointers right now.
And when that happens, it draws him away from the basket.
Shakiri's first shot up and good. First point of the night for Tanya. He does have 5 rebounds. Make it 2 for 2. The lead back down to 6.
Miami showing a little full court pressure.
Powell looks to the corner for Timmy Nip. Passes up on a shot. Turnover. Here comes Manu and the boys. On the run now. He decides to hold up just a second. Little skip pass over to Rodriguez. Looking inside to Jakiri. Can't quite get it there. Good defense by Nip. There's the pass. Still can't finish. Foul on Tanya. We go the other way.
That's a situation where Tanya has to catch the basketball, gather himself, and go up strong. Nobody on the floor is his size. There's no reason for him to rush. Just catch it, compose yourself, go up and make the basket.
Pressure here by the Canes and a timeout called, wisely so. The record may not show it, but this is a team that can definitely bite you if you don't come out and play good basketball. Right now leading 21-15, 5:30 to go here in the first half. Making his way over the timeline is Bab Harrison, still with the basketball, over to Nip. Canes, you may recall, have been in this position before. Remember that Wisconsin battle. they can wake up offensively, but it all begins right here on the defensive end. Good strong drive. Shot is up. No. Good effort there by Nip. Gets his own rebound, and the putback is good. A baby hook, if you want to call it that, as he gets it to go, and the lead is 8.
Right now what we're seeing is EKU is winning all the 50-50 battles.
Yeah.
50-50 battles meaning balls that are on the floor, balls that are in somebody's hands, but then they just go and take it away. Miami's got to be a little bit more aggressive in terms of getting the basketball and holding on to it.
Timmy, the standout from Olive Hill. Here's the replay. Pretty solid work indeed. This sort of speaks to what you were talking about, Drew. Extra effort, strong hustle, fighting and winning the battle.
Strictly 50-50 ball. Omar Sherman had that basketball in his hands. It's kind of like being down at the bottom of the pack in football. You just got to go fight for it sometimes.
Sheldon knocks down the first of a pair. I like how you put that. Timmy, by the way, now with 8 points for the Colonels. And a pair knocked down by Sheldon McClellan. And the lead is back down to 6. Pressure by the Canes. Broken with ease by EKU. Bab Harrison with the basketball. That's going to be a turnover. And that's Miami basketball. And a much-needed turnover, if I do say so myself, with just 17 points on the board there, Drew.
They average almost close to 80. And right now, with about 4:30 left, they've only got 17 points. Kind of goes to show the rust that they've shown, as well as EKU's effectiveness on defense.
We mentioned that the Canes have gone 11 days since their last contest. And remember, before that, they split a pair of contests, a disappointing home loss to Green Bay before coming back with a victory 2 days later. They get their sea legs back, if you will. Rodriguez with the basketball, shot clock at 16. Inside, good look, great pass, shot no, rebound EKU.
There's been a couple of times so far in the first half where Miami just has to do a better job in terms of finishing. They're getting the basketball in the right places, but it doesn't make a difference if you don't put the ball in the basket.
Jeff Neubauer has reason to feel good. Coach L wants to talk it over. 23-17 inside Bank United, 3:56 to go in the first. What do we need to see more out of Angel Rodriguez?
Something.
Yeah, anything at this stage, right? If you're a fan of the Canes. What about a great play once again? EKU is on fire. Corey Walden, right place, right time. Lead is 8.
As of right now, Angel Rodriguez doesn't have a stat. And he's really been disrupted by Corey Walden. As you see right there, forcing him to give up the basketball and then not letting him get the basketball back.
Did you notice, Drew, the extra hustle there for that loose ball, speaking volumes right now about the energy that we're seeing out on the floor?
EKU's the first one to the floor. They're the first one to show up for the fight. And if they continue to do that, it's going to be a microcosm of how this game has been going so far.
So Larinaga takes him out of the contest. What's the thought process behind a move like that?
Well, when there's a basketball on the floor and you don't dive for it and somebody else shows more hustle, you deserve to go have a seat. And I think that that's something that Coach L is proving to Angel Rodriguez, regardless of his impact on this basketball team.
Even if you're the best player on your team, you have to come out and play every time. Burnett is certainly doing that. DeAndre with another three-pointer. That's his third of the contest.
Burnett, primarily right now, the only one lifting, giving Miami a spark to this basketball team right now. They've got to do a better job of continuing to find him since he has the hot hand.
And good defensive play there as well. And the Canes need every one of those three-pointers right now. 20 points on the board for Miami at the 3:05 mark remaining in the first half. McGlone to Timmy Nip.
Going back to Burnett, everybody knows that this is a big-time scorer, averaged over 35 a game in high school. Every time he catches it, he's looking to do something with it.
Certainly has the talent to do so. Timmy's shot off the mark. Here come the Canes now. Newton with the basketball. Skip pass, corner. Manu got it! That's what Coach Larinaga has been talking about.
Excellent job by Jaquan Newton. As soon as he gets in the basketball game, what did I say before about pressure? When they pressure you, you go right by them. Forces somebody to help. Good kick out to LeCompte for the three.
Canes trailed by 8 moments ago. Now just down by a bucket. 25-23. 2:15 to go here in the first half. Strong move to the bucket. Nip can't finish. Here comes Newton and the Canes. McClellan loses his footing, regains his composure. Pass in the lane. The shot is up, but there's a foul. Good strong cut there by Jaquan.
I think it's been Miami's bench so far in this first half that has kept them in this basketball game. As you see the good cut there by Newton. You give up the basketball, they overplay, go back door.
So a chance to tie things up for the Canes, who have been trailing throughout in this contest. Newton's first point of the night.
Newton, a highly touted recruit coming out of Philadelphia. I think this is an excellent year for him in terms of being able to learn from a guy like Angel Rodriguez as well as Manu LeCompte. And in another year or two, you could see this kid really take off.
And he knocks down a pair, and we have a tie, our first since 0-0. It's been a long climb back for Miami. They have finally reeled in the Colonels. Rotation, nip to Powell. Back down in the corner for Richardson. Walden's got it. Shot clock at 16. Whistle. Foul on the Canes. Manu LeCompte picks it up.
The intensity of Miami's defensive pressure is really picked up. And I think a big part of the reason is because when Tanya Jakiri's not on the floor, every pick and roll situation, they can flat out just switch it.
McGlone, guarded by Newton, lost the handle for a moment, still has it. Back to Nip, works it back outside. Shot clock again down to 15.
See, again, this is a switch situation.
That's going to be McClellan. Grabbed a hold of him. That's his first foul.
He's got to do a better job of sliding his feet as opposed to putting his hands out. Corey Walden, very quick player. You've got to give him an extra half a step in order to make sure he doesn't go by you.
Look at that stat. Burnett, 3 of 4 from the floor. Rest of the squad, 3 of 15.
Only problem I have with that is he's only taking 4 shots. Find him some more looks.
That's right. Got to keep shooting. And speaking of shooting, Eric Stutz can keep on shooting when he's in close like that as he knocks that one down. A lot of patience by the Colonels. And it pays dividends. McClellan, a little Euro step. That's going to be an offensive foul. We go the other way.
Second time tonight we've seen Stutz put himself in position to take a charge. Miami, knowing that, now has to do a better job. As you see, he had a wide open Manu LeCompte in the corner of coming to a jump stop and not getting caught up in the air to make the pass.
Good job there by Stutz. 4 points, 5 rebounds, has a pair of fouls, but he's been active for EKU, and well, the crowd thought that was a bit ticky-tacky there on Newton.
Well, as a young player, you've got to understand when to gamble and when not to gamble. When the opposing team is in the bonus, that's not necessarily a good time to gamble because you might pick up a ticky-tack foul like that. Now all of a sudden EKU has a chance to put 2 on the board at the line.
Muff comes in for Stutz. McGlone will be shooting. Off the mark. Canes in business, down by a bucket. Newton. How big is this possession, Drew?
Well, I was just about to say before this Miami turnover, that was a situation where they had the last shot.
Yeah.
A lot of inexperience on the floor. I think Jaquan Newton as well as DeAndre Burnett wasn't aware that they could have held the basketball for the final shot.
Palmer couldn't quite get the handle. And so now EKU will have the basketball, presumably for the final shot of the half. Leading by 2, 27-25, barring a turnover here.
See, and it's those types of mental mistakes that drive coaches crazy, because you have a chance, at worst, you go into halftime down 2. Now there's an opportunity where EKU could possibly go into halftime up 5.
3 seconds left on the clock. McGlone's got it, gives it up. Nip from three-point land. No! In and out at the buzzer. And so Eastern Kentucky is reeled in by Miami. They tie the contest at 25, but they go into the locker room leading by a pair.
A couple of times when Tanya Jakiri was on him, got to be able to recognize shooters. Nip did a good job knocking down some shots.
Canes in white, going right to left. Rodriguez with the basketball. Looking for more energy. Spent a little time on the bench there in the latter stages of half number 1. You can tell there's more intensity already on the floor from both of these squads. A tight ball game. Rodriguez, downtown shot, no. Rebound, battle in the lane, picked up by Stutz.
Angel Rodriguez is going to have to get going, because like we've seen in the first half, when he's not playing well, a lot of times this Miami offense struggles.
Walden with another bucket. Give Walden now 6 points on the night. Loose ball foul there. Corey just a bit too aggressive. He picks up his second personal. Check that third personal foul now on Walden. Eastern Kentucky trying once again to squelch the offense of the Canes. LeCompte with the floater.
Good recognition that time by LeCompte in terms of not going all the way to the basket. He saw the guy stepping up, getting ready to take the charge, but made the nice floater.
5 points for Manu on the night. Back comes EKU. Walden out to Nip. Richardson now, shot clock at 15. This is usually where EKU will fire up one from three-point land. They do. No. Rebound. JT. Whistle. What's the call there, Drew?
To be honest, I'm not sure.
May have been a clock issue. I want to double check that. I think that's, yep, I think that was it. Yep, absolutely. So the Canes still have the basketball. Shot clock all ready to go now. 29-27. Colonel's leading. Burnett's got it. Had the hot hand in the first half. McClellan, who can definitely shoot, misses that one. McGlone with the rebound.
Very interesting so far. Early in the second half, you've got both Angel Rodriguez and Corey Walden on the bench. Walden now has the 3 fouls, and Angel Rodriguez, Coach Larinaga hasn't been pleased with his efforts so far.
McGlone catches a skip pass. Back over to Stutz. Three-pointer! And again, Jakiri can't quite get out there in time to defend, and that three-pointer gives the Colonels a 5-point lead.
Well, that three-pointer was set up by McGlone's ability to get into the paint and create. That forced the help. Good recognition for the kick.
They've got the much taller Nip now on Burnett to try to slow down his scoring. Manu in the lane. Runner, no. Rebound, EKU. Stutz, by the way, with 7 points after that three-pointer. McGlone, and another one from downtown. 6 points for McGlone. Timeout on the floor.
Miami's got to do a better job of recognizing where all the shooters are right now.
Great hats, great headgear. Love this time of year. A lot of fans here enjoying the action.
Everybody getting in the holiday spirit.
Absolutely. Manu with the basketball. DeAndre with the pass, gets it back.
Another example of EKU switching up defenses, just trying to throw off Miami in terms of rhythm.
McClellan draws a crowd that is, every time he ends up with the basketball. Shoots it anyway. Short, off the front of the iron, rebound, EKU. And the problem for Miami right now is if you're not knocking them down, you're slowly but surely allowing EKU to pull away. You see the lead is already 8, and they have the basketball right now.
I don't mind taking three-pointers, but you can't take three-pointers when you just pass the basketball around the perimeter and then take a contested three. It's a different thing if you dribble, penetrate it, then kick it outside for an open three as opposed to the last one.
As we look there at our update on the point guard matchup we talked about in the pregame there, you see Walden leading right now as Rodriguez simply has not gotten untracked, and at this point he's actually on the bench. We'll see if he can get back out there and heat things up for Miami. Right now his club trailing by 8, 20 on the shot clock. Harrison over to Stutz, by the way, who had a nice shot inside. It was tipped out by a Kane. Gets another one, decides to kick it to the corner. Ball is lost there by Richardson. Battle, and this will go Miami's way. And a timeout on the floor. Canes down by 8. They'll have the basketball when we continue inside the Bank United Center. It's Holiday Hoops on ESPN. Don't go away. More basketball after this.
That's bothered him a little bit. He hasn't been able to kind of get himself into a comfortable role. He's been a little bit passive, and anytime you're playing against an aggressive defense, you can't be passive. You've got to be aggressive yourself and put the defense on its heels as opposed to let the defense put you on your heels.
You want to predict that he'll get better? Or do you think he'll stay on the bench? Because it seems like he's spending a lot of time over there right now.
Without question, he's going to come back into this basketball game. I think that Coach L is just trying to do anything in order to get him motivated, to get himself in tune to come back into this basketball game and be productive.
He's so important to the flow of the offense. As A-Rod goes, often so go the Canes. And right now they're trailing by 8 points, 15:33 to go here in the second half.
I think right now if I was Miami, if I was Coach L, I would try to draw up a special play to get a crowd-pleasing play like an alley-oop for Sheldon McClellan, because as of right now, this building is flat.
Yep.
Lack of energy. You need something in order to spark this team to get your momentum going in the opposite direction.
Meanwhile, if you are Coach Neubauer, what's your instruction to your team right now?
Keep doing what you're doing. Everything that you're doing, like plays like that, where Eric Stutz, this is the third time where you've had a Miami player drive the basketball, jump in the air, not necessarily know what you're going to do with it, and Stutz, being the veteran leader that he is, knows to just sit there and take a charge.
Heady play there as McClellan heads out. 3 personal fouls now on Sheldon.
So we've got a situation where Miami's best 2 players right now are on the bench, Sheldon McClellan and Angel Rodriguez.
Approaching gut check time now for the Canes. 15 minutes plus to play here in the second half. Eastern Kentucky, McGlone's got it, and they have an 8-point lead. Timmy drives, gives it up late to Stutz. Good ball movement again on the perimeter. Shot from downtown. Timmy's shot is off the mark, but quickly collected by Walden. Off balance, the floater off the glass.
Excellent job by Corey Walden, being the first to the basketball, picking it up and making a play for himself.
Lightning quick, 8 points now for Walden. The lead, the biggest of the contest at 10. Newton now drives, dishes. Manu from outside. No. Rebound. Caught and battled for. JT's got it. Now it's picked up by EKU, and here comes Walden and company. That shot off the mark, but Stutz collects. McGlone from downtown. Got another one! The lead is 13. 40-27 over the number 18 team in the country.
With McGlone, you knew it was only a matter of time before he started to make shots. This kid shot 70% in the OVC conference play last year from the three-point line. Got off to a slow start, but he's knocking them down tonight.
He's got 3 threes. Manu's three-point try off the mark. Stutz has it, gives it up to McGlone, down to Walden, and a 13-point lead on the road for Eastern Kentucky. Miami, no points in the last 5.5 minutes of basketball. McClone again, and hits another one. 4 3-pointers by Isaac McClone.
Recognition of knowing where shooters are. You know this kid has a hot hand. How do you leave somebody that open in the corner to knock down a three?
16-point lead for Eastern Kentucky. Keep in mind, at one point, it was a 25-25 downtown, and when you're red hot from three-point land and the opposition is struggling just a bit, it obviously leads to a huge lead on the road, 43-27. Canes out of the timeout, looking to get something going here. Perhaps, as Drew pointed out, maybe something in the lane, a big dunk, an alley-oop, anything to get momentum, and perhaps even a little crowd interactivity. That one knocked out of bounds. Canes will keep it.
Well, another problem that I see for Miami right now is I look at who's on the floor. Who's going to score the basketball? You got to get the basketball to DeAndre Burnett.
Yep.
Jaquan Newton, he can penetrate. Or Manu LeConte's got to be able to step up as we see Angel Rodriguez now heading over to the scores table to come back into the basketball game.
Certainly could use some offense out of that young man, the standout, who has really made a huge contribution to this team this season. Just the one loss in coming into this one. By the way, Eastern Kentucky now leading by 16. This is tied for the largest deficit of the season for Miami, the other coming in that loss to Green Bay. And a turnover right off the bench by Rodriguez.
As much as Miami has been flat tonight, I think it's been more EKU as opposed to Miami not playing well. I think that Eastern Kentucky has done an excellent job of taking Miami out of their sets.
Give them credit. Burnett tries to take it himself, rejected by the bigger player, and will stay down here. The ball was tipped. McClone didn't argue. That tells you probably the men in stripes were right on the money on that call. The body language usually will tell you all you need to know. And speaking of body language, that one tells a story, my friend.
That it does.
Newton's got it. Walden defending. Canes need to get some defensive stops, but certainly they need offense as well. And you get a foul there as Newton tries to split the defense.
Newton has been one of the only guys who's decided to try to penetrate the zone as opposed to just pass the basketball around the perimeter. One of the things you got to do against a 2-3, you've either got to penetrate it or you've got to get the basketball into the areas that hurt zones, which is in the middle as well as the short corner.
Newton challenges Stutz. Can't get that one to go. Rebound Rodriguez. Burnett fires one. He's off the mark. And another rebound by EKU, and it's Walden with a nice spin move, and they call Rodriguez. And again, I just didn't see a lot of contact there.
No, there wasn't that much contact there. I think that was a ticky-tack foul at best on Angel Rodriguez. But Miami, I think right now, has gone into a little bit of a panic mode. All you see them doing is hoisting up three-point shots. You're not going to be able to cut this deficit with one shot. You've got to be able to play smart basketball and get the basketball inside first and then outside.
23% from the floor for the hometown Canes. Stutz has it. Eric's got 7 points. Have Harrison off the mark. Rebound Shaqiri inside. Newton in the lane. To the corner. Burnett passes up a three. Rodriguez has it. Good look inside to Shaqiri, who draws a huge crowd. Stutz is there, and that pass is too hot to handle. Too much on that one for Palmer, and it's EKU basketball with that 16-point lead. Quick timeout as we continue our coverage of Holiday Hoops here on ESPN. Coach Larinaga looking for answers. His club down by 16.
I'm not exactly sure if he's sick, but he just doesn't look like the normal Angel Rodriguez that we've been accustomed to seeing over the past couple of years.
you don't like to speculate in a situation like this, but it just looks like he just doesn't feel well, like maybe he is sick. Look at the numbers there in the second half of the Canes. 1 of 12, just 2 points, and that is why they trail by such a huge margin right now. EKU good working it around. Look at the scoop, up and off the mark. As you saw right there, Powell had a perfect opportunity, but it goes for naught. Meanwhile, back down the floor, it's Rodriguez got the ball. Skip Burnett, shot, up, no. Rebound, Eastern Kentucky. Powell's got it. Facing pressure, needs help. Rodriguez with a steal, and the shot, and the foul. I think it counts. It does. Finally. But wait a second. Are they saying on the floor?
They got it on the floor. This isn't the NBA. They didn't give them the continuation.
There you go.
But Rodriguez doing an excellent job of picking up defensive pressure. That could have been a three-point play.
I was kind of hoping it made the call a lot better if it were, but, what are you going to do? 16-point lead for the Colonels. As Rodriguez does come up with the steal.
You can't get them all right, Casey.
Swing and a miss. Jakiri now. Make that read now. Davon will shoot a pair. Up and good on the first.
Well, 1+ for Miami is, with 10:41 still left to go in this half, they're already in the bonus.
Yep.
So now you've got to be extra aggressive because every time you get fouled, you got a chance to go to the charity stripe and pick up some points.
Very important, too. And Reed is an excellent shooter. Perfect on the night from the charity stripe. By the way, I'm noticing that McGlone is not on the floor. He's in foul trouble. We'll see how that affects the Eastern Kentucky offense. They finally break the press. Walden's got it, tries baseline, and the foul is called right there on Reed. Seems like the Colonels have gone into a bit of a cold funk. They led by 16. The lead still at 14, but it's been a while since they've been able to put one in the bucket. Timmy's got one from the corner, and he solves that rather quickly.
Complete defensive lapse that time by James Palmer. Got caught looking at the basketball. The ball went right behind his back, and Nip made him pay for it.
17-point lead as we near the halfway part of the second half. Turnover. Rodriguez not enough on it. Just does not have the energy tonight. Walden to Bab Harrison. Stutz swings it around back to Corey. Shot clock at 20. Nearly lost the ball there. Tapped, and they call a foul on Newton.
Right now, Eastern Kentucky looks like the 18th ranked team in the country, and Miami looks like the team that's struggling trying to get a win. I think it's been more so Miami's passiveness, especially when we're talking about Angel Rodriguez. He doesn't look decisive when throwing the basketball, when deciding to drive. He's overthinking the game right now, and he's got to go back to just playing the game on instinct and letting his natural feel come into play.
This would certainly qualify as a shocking upset. Canes coming in 9-1, ranked 18th in the polls. Timmy from downtown, another one! Timmy Nip is going off!
Eastern Kentucky, excellent job of recognizing the trap, getting the basketball out, and then finding the open shooter in the corner. Again, Timmy Nip knocking him down.
The pride of Olive Hill, Kentucky. 14 points now. His club leading by 20. And would you believe, another turnover.
Sometimes aggressiveness makes you passive. And to play this game of basketball, you cannot be passive. You've got to know what you're doing on the basketball floor and go out and do it. And if you don't, this is what you look like.
Well, the Canes really would love to hit the reset button and just start over. They're down right now by 20, largest deficit of the season. A lot of basketball to be played, but if they lose like this, it makes you wonder if they'll fall out of the top 25. As you see, the running floater there falls by Bab Harrison.
Oh, that's not a question. Certainly, they'll drop out of the top 25.
McClellan to Newton, back over to Reed. Davon hits one. It's been a while.
Well, the difference that time was there was dribble penetration. And that was what freed up Davon Reed in order for him to knock down that 3-ball.
7 points on the night for Reed, his first bucket. The rest free throws. To the corner now. Denzel, wow. Great handles, good speed, aggressive as you called it, Drew.
Again, he caught the ball, and he was decisive. He said, I'm going to take this basketball to the basket, and nobody comes to help. I'm going to lay it up.
5 points for Richardson. He has a three-pointer. Burnett, speaking of threes, may have gotten fouled on that three-pointer. Doesn't get the call. Eastern Kentucky will control.
I thought that was a good no call in that situation. Burnett was kind of looking for the contact and tried to sell it to the ref.
21 points, the deficit right now. Walden from downtown. They are firing on all cylinders, and the putback is up and good by the big fella, Eric Stutz. What can you say about the job done by the Colonels? 55-32 on the road.
This might just be a situation for Coach L's team to just kind of reset. Forget us have gotten hot. Timmy Nip and first Isaiah McGlone got the party started, and Miami hasn't responded.
Yeah, Isaac has actually been on the bench for a while, and his team hasn't needed him because, as you point out there, Drew, they're shooting so well without him. And the lead right now, the largest of the night. You hear the whistle there, and the foul will stay down at this end. You said something before the break. You said, if I were Coach L, I would hit the reset button on this night. What did you mean by that? And tell me how that plays itself out here on the floor in the remaining 7+ minutes to go.
Well, I think in this situation, Miami has to stop looking at the score and just play these last 7 minutes as hard as they can. And if you're Coach L, sometimes after bad losses, you don't even watch the tape. You don't even let your team see it. You just move on to the next day. You say, okay, guys, we were caught in a bad night. Let's forget about it. Let's go back to the drawing board, and let's continue to get better, as opposed to harp on a potential loss like this.
That's an interesting strategy, and I guess I can understand where you're going with it. I mean, what really can you take from a contest where you just didn't play well at all?
It happened a couple of times in my career when I was at the University of Maryland playing for Coach Gary Williams. We would come out and play bad, and we thought that we were going to get chewed into the next day during practice, but he would come in and say, you know what, guys, let's just move forward. Let's put that one behind us, move forward, and continue to get better.
Rodriguez with 1 point tonight. That speaks volumes about the way the night has gone for the Hurricanes here inside Bank United Center. Fab Harrison, a little pressure there from Manu. Gets it back to Eric. Looking for Walden now. Good pressure there by Reed. Shot clock at 15. Fab Harrison with traffic. Runner up, no. Gets his rebound. Follow up, no. Rebound Newton. Oh, but it goes out of bounds, and we stay down at this end.
One of the problems that Miami's going to continue to have when they go to these small lineups is defensive rebounding. Got to come up with the basketball. EKU with the fresh 35.
A lot of second chances there out of EKU. And that last possession. Stutz, pass inside. Once again, they work it outside. Denzel there. Travel. He thought he got fouled. A little out of control from here, and it's a turnover. There's the rebound story. The Colonels with 34. 22 boards for the Hurricanes. 6:24 to play here in the second half.
A big part of that is because Miami hasn't been able to hit anything, and Eastern Kentucky hasn't allowed Miami to get second chance points.
Rodriguez thinks about a three-pointer, decides against it, gets it back from Lecomte, does fire one from downtown, inside and out. That one just nearly in there. It falls out. Battle for the basketball, and the possession arrow is pointing Eastern Kentucky's way. And how about the extra effort? Fighting and scrapping down there for the basketball once again is Corey Walden.
So far here in this second half, Eastern Kentucky has primarily played 2-3 zone. And Kevin, I ask you, have you seen the basketball go into the free throw line area one time?
Nope.
There's been some dribble penetration, but you've got to do a better job of getting the basketball in the target areas of the zone in which to attack.
See, this is why you'd make a great assistant coach or even a head coach. You could get out there and remind the guys, you have to play fundamental basketball. And it all begins with defense as once again, Corey Walden sails past.
Well, if I was a head coach or an assistant coach, your job always becomes easier when you got a guy like Corey Walden who can make plays like that.
10 points now for Walden. One of three Colonels in double figures on the floor right now. The others, McGlone and Nip, who have 12 and 14 points respectively as we look at that replay.
That's just extra burst. He's just got that extra gear. When he turns the corner, he's able to go ahead and get all the way to the rim.
One and done at the charity stripe. And we have a stoppage. Coach Neubauer may not seem pleased, but with his club leading now by 24 points, he doesn't have to crack a smile to show that he's very happy about what's going on here.
Well, again, speaking to him before the game, he recognized that he felt that this team had the opportunity to get better as the season progressed. He thinks that he only has 5 or 6 players that really understand the type of system that he's playing. But boy, have those guys played well tonight.
Gotta love that shot there by Manu. Canes could have used a lot more of that earlier in the contest. He's got 7. The lead is 22. Stutz under pressure as Rodriguez kicks up the energy. Could be a turnover here, and timeout is called to avoid that.
My question is, where was that effort 10 minutes ago?
Touché.
Before it was a 22-point game. As we take a look, performance, you can be beat. If you come out here and you play with the right emotion and energy, you can be one of the top 25 teams in the nation. But tonight, we just haven't seen that.
They've got 4:45 to go to show some pride in what will likely be a loss to the Colonels here at home. Walden, wow, does it again! Highlight reel night for Corey Walden.
When it's going good, it's going good.
And there's the answer at the other end by Sheldon McClellan. 60-38 EKU. Stutz under pressure now from McClellan. Want to be careful with the basketball. Has Nip right next to him. Double team and another timeout. Oh, it looks like instead there's a loose ball foul.
Corey Walden getting it done from the U, literally. That green spot on the floor goes up, nothing but nylon.
That shot was, I'm going to say that was from about Brickell. I mean, he really fired that one up from downtown. Putting on quite a show tonight and leading his team to a likely victory, 60-38. Anything can happen, though. You don't want to say it's over until it's over. But the Canes need to go on a huge run if they're going to make a game of it late. McClellan can do that as he hits another three-pointer. Sheldon getting it done from outside with back-to-back threes. And he comes up with a near miss on that turnover try. Timeout on the floor. 60-41 is our score as we continue our coverage of holiday hoops here on ESPN. We're coming back with more after this.
His guys a chance to come back home and play in front of his family. He's got about 25, 30 relatives here in the crowd tonight.
He breaks the press there and the flush. Eric Stutz, the capper, to give his club a 21-point lead. Newton, drive, dish, read, no, rebound, goes out of bounds. Eastern Kentucky basketball. Here's a look at the Canes' upcoming schedule. Decidedly difficult.
But yeah, They go up to New York. They're going to play Providence at the Barclays Center, Coach L's alma mater. They're going to spend a couple of days up there, do a couple of fun, neat things, go to a Motown show, as well as see the 9/11 site. But I think right now, their main focus has to be stopping things like this.
Wow.
Breakdown and penetration, kickouts for three. Timmy Nip getting it done.
TK is on a roll. Another three-pointer. Timeout for Coach Neubauer. And what a night for the Colonels. Walden's got it. 2:50 to go here in this one. The lead at 24 points. Walden driving. Bodied just a bit. The ball stays here. Newton can't believe it. What's been interesting for me, Drew, is watching how Eastern Kentucky has been able to spring so many players with good ball movement to end up with those wide open looks. And once they started knocking down the threes, it was Katie bar the door.
Well, it was a combination of ball movement as well as penetration. And plays like that from Corey Walden, who's just decided to put on a show.
What can you about CW? Blossom, 16 points on the night. The lead is 27. McClellan answers again. You know, Sheldon didn't hit enough of these early, but certainly he has been keeping it respectable. If there's anyone who could possibly bring his team back to a respectable deficit, it is McClellan. But boy, this has definitely been the Corey Walden show. Stutz driving, floater, got it. Everything coming up Colonels right now, 13 points for the big guy.
This performance by Eastern Kentucky has been nothing short of flawless. You couldn't ask this team to play any better in any respects. On the defensive end, on the offensive end, hustle, energy. Coach Neubauer's team came to play tonight.
They certainly did. Look at the field goal percentage. The Canes at 30%, Eastern Kentucky 52. Many of those, the long-range variety. You add that. You add what Drew talked about, hustle, winning those 50-50 balls. They've been that good all night long, led, of course, by Corey Walden and Isaac McGlone, and it has been a great. And don't want to overlook Timmy Nip. You see, he's got 17 points. He's played well. And Stutz, I thought, for a guy that maybe didn't have the size of some of his competitors in white jerseys, I thought played terrifically.
It's been a collective effort.
Yeah.
You said it right there. You wanted to name one or two guys, but then you just had to keep on going down on the list.
There you go.
It's been that type of night for Eastern Kentucky. Contributions from everybody. From Miami, there's been contributions for a couple of guys, Sheldon McClellan, but it's just been a little too late against this Eastern Kentucky team.
The glaring number, as you look at some of the EKU fans, the glaring number for the Canes, 1, as in the number of points for Angel Rodriguez, who was obviously under the weather tonight, did not have the spring in his step, and the Canes did not recover from a slow start. They did actually tie the contest at 25 after trailing early, as you see Rodriguez fire that one up. But after tying the contest at 25, it has been virtually all Eastern Kentucky. As we look now at the clock is winding down, does it matter to you, Drew, the point differential in a home loss like this?
You know where it matters? It matters in March, when the selection committee, if Miami is possibly a bubble team, this is a loss that could potentially haunt Miami. I mean, this is one of these types of games where the selection committee will look at it, and it could necessarily be a situation where they don't get in because of a loss like this.
Devastating in every way. The Canes losing at home, ranked 18th in the country by 28 points to an Eastern Kentucky squad that came